Yo-Kai Watch Puni Puni.
Puni players, Robbett here. This week's score attack in Yo-Kai Watch Puni Puni is Captain Thunder. Let's get into it. The tribe restrictions this week are Charming, Heartful, Eerie, and Enma. Given Captain Thunder is shady, Charming and Heartful get a big tribe bonus against him. First up is Hello Kitty SS, who receives a 5% bonus boosted by Komajiro S, Pink Emperor, Prison Breaker, and Elder Bloom. The issue with a single attacker this week is the lack of Slurpent. Arachnus Awoken and various charming inflators are available, but it's a much harder inflation run to pull off. That means, at least for me, that Hello Kitty SS would be a pure flood and you'd really want to do it twice, which is intense. If you were perfect, I'd guess you'd get off about 12 Sultimates, maybe a few more. With a single Sultimate, she manages 53,000 damage, which equates to 5.6 million score before bonuses, 6.7 after. Next up, we'll try the Dark Watch, which means that we have to equip the Dark Yo-Kai Watch first. We'll boost Dark Watch with Prison Breaker, Demon King, Pink Emperor, and Elder Bloom. Dark Watch is going to suffer similarly to Hello Kitty SS in terms of flooding, although Arachnus Awoken would give additional unity with Eerie. The main thing, however, is that he's not going to get a strong tribe bonus against Captain Thunder since Eerie and Shady are aligned. Dark Watch gets around 47,000 damage, which is 4.9 million score before bonuses, 5.7 million after. For the Heartful tribe, we're going to bring my favorite lucky god, Fukurokuju, boosted by Unikirin, Pink Emperor, Prison Breaker, and Elder Bloom. Given Fukurokuju is a form of Tracer, the values we see will need to be interpreted a little differently. The absolute best Puni players can achieve 3 fever times with 5, maybe 6 Tracer Sultimates, which is a seemingly impossible task. For me, I can basically do 2 fevers with 3 or 4 Tracers, maybe 3 fevers with about the same amount of Tracers. Fukurokuju pulls off 197,000 damage or 22.5 million score before bonuses and 25.9 million after. It's our lucky week, so next up is Enma SSS, boosted by the same boosters given there are no Enma tribe boosters. All of the disclaimers about score and how much you can do in score attack apply to Enma SSS as well. He may actually be at a slight disadvantage to Fukurokuju since Fukurokuju's skill is to randomly drop large Puni, which makes getting Fukurokuju ready easier. Enma SSS manages 214,000 damage or 24.5 million score before bonuses and 28.3 million after. Lastly, I'm going to try a hybrid Tracer pairing of Fukurokuju and Enma SSS, sacrificing Unikirin. The key here is that it's a pretty difficult technique to pull off 2 of the same Tracers during each fever time normally. You need to have a size 13 Puni ready to ignite the second trace, but you can't hit it while doing the first trace. Not only does it take a lot of skill, but because you're avoiding that large Puni, you're doing less damage. By bringing in 2 Tracers, it will be a lot easier to pull both off in a single fever, yet both will suffer some in terms of damage. Fukurokuju does 113,000 damage by himself, which is about right given we've lost a booster. Enma SSS manages 146,000 damage, or 259,000 damage combined, which at least compared to the single traces before is better. That's 33 million before bonuses, 38 million after. I'm going with the Enma SSS Fukurokuju combo due to its ease of use and because of another thing. As I mentioned, Fukurokuju can drop bigger Puni of himself, and therefore by activating him first when I use Enma SSS, I should be able to get Fukurokuju back up. It won't be in time for fever, which means my boosters will be gone, but it's still additional damage. There is a small trade-off. There's no way I'm going to be able to get a 3rd fever doing that because it will take around 4 seconds to utilize a Tracer's Ultimate. That's going to take precious time. As I'm getting my Sultimates up, you'll notice that I'm not bothering with Elder Bloom. Given I can activate him any time during a fever, I know that either Fukurokuju or Enma SSS will make him available to me. This allows me to link a little faster because long link-ups raise the fever meter more quickly. I get into the first fever with 44 seconds remaining. Fukurokuju does a respectable 120,000 damage, and Enma SSS does 147,000 damage for a combined 267,000 damage. As predicted, I also have a full Fukurokuju available that I use after Fever. Although all my boosters are still up for a split second, you only get damage and score from a Tracer when their ultimate completes. That extra Fukurokuju does 24,000 damage and Elder Bloom is still available. There's another piece to Tracers, and that is doing them inside Fever tends to build up their damage significantly, thus the smaller output. That leaves me 31 seconds left to do it all again. Fuku happens to be in good position and I get him up again in under 4 seconds. From there, it's taking me a lot longer to get the others up as they're too diversely laid out on the playfield. I actually put some Elder Bloom chains together just to get them off the board and it sends me into Fever early. Prison Breaker isn't fully up, but I managed him very quickly and it's time to activate all the ultimates. With 4 seconds on the clock, it's just enough time to perform Fukurokuju's ultimate. Hit continue and we can see that Fuku does a great 137,000 damage. Enma SSS is decent as well and does 148,000 for a combined 282,000 damage. Fukurokuju is up again and we have enough time to use him once again for an added 27,000 damage. At the end of the battle, the score is at 68.7 million, 79 million with Elder Bloom's 5% and the purchase 10% bonus. Early days, but that's good enough for 172nd place at the moment. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitter for the latest Puni Puni and Wibble Wobble information. Until the next video, good luck with the gacha.